please hit that subscribe button. Hey everybody, better suited to win the Stanley Cup this season. If you are new to the channel, Washington Capitals, the Boston Bruins.
Locked on and he scored! And we're live. Hey everybody, so it's time for part 2 of 5 players having career best seasons in the NHL this season in 2019-20. Again, these are not the only 5 players having these types of seasons, so if you don't see a player you're thinking of, they're probably coming up in a future episode, or I talked about them in part 1 already. But these are 5 guys, once again, having career best years this season in 2019-20. Before we start, I just quickly want to remind everyone to please hit that subscribe button and follow along for all of my hockey content, and to give this video a thumbs up as well, as that's really helps out the channel a lot and is very much appreciated. So let's get into it here, starting with number 1, Andrei Svechnikov of the Carolina Hurricanes. Absolutely lighting it up this year. Obviously, he was a rookie last year with the Hurricanes. Had a pretty good rookie season with 20 goals and 37 points in 82 games played. But this season, he is absolutely blowing those numbers away from last year. He has arrived at the NHL level. Svechnikov is a star forward for Carolina. And at just 19 years old, through 68 games played this season, he has 24 goals, new career high, 37 assists, new career high by 20, and that's only through 68 games, and 61 points. He's got more than 20 more points than he had last season with Carolina. Svechnikov is a superstar in the making. At just 19 years old, he's having by far, obviously, his best season. Unreal year this year for Svechnikov, and I think he's going to keep getting better. I mean, this is only through 68 games. We don't know, again, if he's going to be able to finish out this season, or if the league's going to be able to finish out this season or not. But it's still career high numbers across the board for Svechnikov, and he is launching himself into that young star player category in the NHL. Moving on to number 2, another young player who's having by far the best season of his career, Tyler Bertuzzi of the Detroit Red Wings. Bertuzzi this year, through 71 games played, has matched a career high in goals from last season with 21. Already has beaten a new career high in assists with 27 and a new career high in points with 48. And again, that's just through 71 games played. If Detroit can finish out the season, he is likely going to beat all of those numbers even more than he already has. And this is Tyler Bertuzzi's best season in the NHL by far. His 3rd season with the Red Wings. He's was an all-star this year. This was his first all-star appearance. He's just having a great season. Obviously, Detroit is not. They're the worst team in the league by far, one of the worst teams of all time. But Bertuzzi himself individually is having a very good year this year. And if they were to finish out the season and have a full 82-game season, he's going to probably go towards 25 goals and certainly go over 50 points this year for Detroit. So big year for Bertuzzi. Kevin Fiala, number 3 from the Minnesota Wild. Kevin Fiala, in his first full year with Minnesota, was traded last year from Nashville to Minnesota midseason. 23 years old, having his best NHL season. Absolutely unreal this year for Minnesota. Kevin Fiala leads the team in points with 54. He's tied a career high in goals with 23, set a new career high in assists with 31, a new career high in points as well. And again, that's only through 64 games played. If Minnesota is able to finish out the season, he's going to beat his career high in goals with 23 that he did in 2017-18 with Nashville, and beat his career high. Well, he's already beaten his career high in points, but blow that out from what he did back in 27-18 with the Predators, which was his previous best season in the NHL, where he had 23 goals, 25 assists, and 48 points. He's already beaten the assists and points. if they play, any more games, he's going to beat goals as well. So best season of his career for Kevin Fiala. Again, he's just 23 years old, still a young guy, just coming into his own. But this season, he has solidified himself as a top 6 winger in the NHL and is having a great season for Minnesota. Now we're moving on to number 4, and we have a defenseman. First defenseman I've talked about in this series, Tony DeAngelo of the New York Rangers, 24-year-old defenseman, really coming into his own this year with the Rangers. He came into the league with the Arizona Coyotes, was then part of a trade that sent him to New York. And last season with the New York Rangers, he played most of the season, 61 games played, 4 goals, 26 assists for 30 points. Not a bad season for a young defenseman. How about this year, though? 68 games played, 15 goals on the year for Tony DeAngelo, 38 assists for 53 points. By far a huge breakout year for DeAngelo on the back end in New York here. And it's going to be interesting to see if they get him re-signed to a long-term deal and lock him in, or if he, possibly gets, offer sheeted this offseason. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with DeAngelo, because he has broken out into a high-level NHL defenseman here. Again, his previous career high in goals was 5 before this season. He already has 15 this year through 68 games played. He has more assists this year than he has had points in any previous NHL season. His previous career high in points was 30, which came last year. He has 38 assists this season, 53 points, 23 more points than he had last season. This has been a huge breakout season for Tony DeAngelo, and he is becoming a star on the back end in New York. And, just 24 years old, he still has room to grow and room to continue to develop and go up. So, huge year for Tony DeAngelo. And finally, number 5, from the Ottawa Senators, Anthony Duclair, 24 years old, having his best NHL season, and certainly his best year in a while. This is a guy who had one really good year early in his career with the Arizona Coyotes, where he had 20 goals, 24 assists for 44 points back in 2015-16. In 81 games that season, but never could recapture that. He's bounced around a little bit. He started in New York, was not the player the Rangers expected him to be, got traded to Arizona, had that really good first year in Arizona, but then completely fell off a cliff. Then he went to Chicago, then he went to Columbus. Now he's found a home in Ottawa, and in his first full season with the Ottawa Senators this year, he's played 66 games. He has 23 goals, which is a career high. He has 17 assists and 40 points, which is only 4 points off of his career high set back with Arizona in 2015-16. And he's only played 66 games. So if the league is able to continue this year after the virus outbreak is contained and we end up finishing out the regular season, he's probably going to have a new career high in points. He already has a new career high in goals, and this has been Anthony Duclair's best NHL season to this point. And he really seems to have found a home in Ottawa. We'll see if he stays there long term. But he really has fit in well with the Ottawa Senators, and while the team isn't very good and still currently rebuilding, I do think he has a bright future with the Senators, and he's having a very, very solid year this year with them, and also went to his first All-Star game this season like Tyler Bertuzzi, and that's obviously a huge accomplishment for him as well. So there you have it, guys. 5 more players having career best seasons in 2019-20. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. All those links are in the description below. If you'd like to further support the channel, links to our Patreon and merchandise store are down in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you guys soon.